So, in preparation for a Father's Day gift, I googled jokes about fathers, because, I needed some dad jokes about dads. And I came across this one article from last year that includes both jokes and funny jokes to share with dad and make him smile. This article is, as you can already tell by the title, pretty interesting. So I thought today I'd read through it with you. Probably my favorite part of the whole article is this explainer at the beginning, because this is obviously written by someone from a different country and just slapped into Google Translate. So this first paragraph says, "The role of the father is just great. It cannot be described in simple words. It takes very complex words. The relation between fathers, his child, is quite complicated, like I said. Sometimes it becomes quite tough and hard as there are clashes that are quite obvious. We don't hide our clashes. On the other hand, at some point it becomes very emotional and low. Fathers, so low. So it is very hard to describe the relation in one word. You may have noticed that as the age of a father increases, he becomes a bit changed. This is quite normal because he suffers from various types of health issues. It is the love of a child that works far better as a medicine rather than tablets. Those gosh dang Samsung Galaxy tabs. Try to make your father even with small things. Just if your father's acting a bit odd, make him even with small things." So then there's another paragraph which is probably equally as great, and it says, "Prepare good jokes for your father on this special day. Most of the fathers pass through a very lonely stage at an older age. Dad's so lonely. He feels that he is all alone in this world and there is no one to look after him or love him. Stop him from thinking so. Don't think that. Prepare some Father's Day jokes that will make him feel happy and honored. There was a time when your father accompanies you in every decision of life. Now it's your turn to make him feel happy and relaxed. Try these new things and he will surely feel glad to hear it." And then also, it felt like just explaining what a joke is supposed to do, just for any newcomers to jokes. So, the effect of a good joke is that there are immense good effects of a joke, and let us discuss some of them. So most of the jokes are written by using funny languages, and this gives a smile to his face. So, some of the funnier languages like English or French or Spanish, they're just really funny languages, and they might even lend over a smile to his face. And you can even prepare jokes from the daily incidents of life, all of the daily incidents. That would be a much better and funnier. Apart from this, you can prepare some jokes from various childhood incidents. That is a great idea, as it will help you father to relish the olden days, the good old days. There may be many crises in his life during those days, but he was happy. Left and right, just constant crisis, but he pushed through. Most of the jokes also give a very refreshing effect on both the child and his father. They can share many things. You can write those jokes and send it to him. He will really like to read it several times. After all, it is written by his little one. So, jokes give a refreshing effect. And I also like how it says you can write jokes, but the whole point is that it's giving you jokes to tell. Funny jokes. Now, this first joke is interesting, as it's a conversation between one Jake and one Matt. So Jake asks, "What does your father do for a living?" And Matt says, "He's a magician. He performs tricks, like sawing people in half." Jake shortly follows this up with, "Do you have any brothers or sisters?" And Matt replies with, "Yep, 4 half-sisters and a half-brother." Now, I have a couple problems with this. So, first of all, is this how conversations work now? They ask, "What does your father do for a living?" So he's just, for some reason, asking about what his dad does, shortly followed up with, "Do you have any brothers or sisters?" This conversation doesn't seem to have any logical flow to it. I don't know, maybe that's just because I've been isolated away from literally any social contact for so long, but I don't know, that might just be me. Second of all, 4 half-sisters and a half-brother. Why is there only a half of a brother? Wouldn't there be 2 if he sawed his brother in half? What happened to the other half of the brother? And if it's implying that it's his other half, then is Jake just casually talking to half of Matt? I'm very concerned. Maybe I'm not supposed to read into this joke, and I can see why, but I don't like this joke at all. This is another interesting joke. The science teacher asks, "When is the boiling point reached?" The student says, "When my father sees my report card." So, first of all, I just love the phrasing of the question. When is the boiling point reached? I need to know, when is the boiling point reached? And, I also like how the student is openly just to his teacher saying that he has bad grades. So this one is the teacher on the phone says, "You say Michael has a cold and can't come to school today? To whom am I speaking?" And voice says, "This is my father." Now this is funny because you understand why it's funny, because it's an extremely basic joke. But I just like how it's just voice. Oh, and then if we scroll down the page, we see the exact same joke again, except for instead of Jake and Matt, it's Joe and John. What happened to Jake and Matt? I need them back. Those were fan favorites. Why did they have to go and replace them with these knockoff Joe and John? I need Jake and Matt back. This one's interesting. Man, how old is your father? Child, as old as me. Man, how it is possible? Child, he became a father only when I was born. Now this is supposed to be one of those riddles, I think, where it's like the wording makes the question have a different answer than you'd expect. But because of how it's translated, it's not like that, so it's literally just asking, how old is your father? And I can't for the life of me understand it, and I think that has something to do with the translation. And then I'm also curious as to who's this man? This child's just talking to man. It doesn't even have a name, it's just man with no discernible relation. Why shouldn't you argue with Dad on Father's Day? Because Father knows best. I don't see how this is a joke. Oh great, in the middle of the article there's another paragraph explaining what jokes are. So there are many Father's Day funny jokes, Father's Day funny jokes, that are found on various websites. You can either download it from the sites, or can make your own one. Only one joke per person. And funny jokes will help your father smile, because, he needs assistance when it comes to smiling. It will also give a complete peace of mind. A chunk of his mind is just going to be given to him. But not just any piece, a complete piece. There are several avenues by which you can wish your father on the occasion of Father's Day and make him feel happy. I think it's supposed to say wish your father a happy Father's Day, because I don't think we're just going to be wishing at our father. See, this one's an interesting joke. It's a terrible joke. But what I'm very curious about is why the kid's name is Tiger Cub. Oh, and if you guys really enjoyed all of these hilarious jokes, you can only send a thanks to Mary. I've gotten to the bottom of the article, and all credit goes to Mary. There's no profile picture. Mary doesn't have a last name. It's just Mary. But, yeah, thanks, Mary.